Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. Let's talk about ankylosed teeth, impacted canines. I have so much content on this. If you want to watch all my content on this, you can just go to our braces playlist, or you can go to we even have an impacted canines playlist. It's somewhere in there. We can send it to you if you want it. Just email us at info@straightsmilesolutions.com or reach out to us at straightsmilesolutions.com. Just a quick clarification though, we don't really help you with surgical cases, so I'm just putting the information out there because there's enough times where we have a phase 1 case or a phase 2 case and we're like, oh no, is this impacted? Oh no, is this ankylosed? We don't always know. I would say it's pretty rare to have an ankylosed permanent tooth in a kid or a teen, but it happens. Baby teeth, yes. I think you need to be aware of what to look for and the possibility that something is ankylosed anytime there's a tooth that is stuck, be it a second molar, a canine, a premolar, those are the most common culprits. Sometimes even an upper incisor can happen. First thing I want to do, obviously, please watch all the content I have on impacted canines and as well as ankylosis. You can put in those keywords, impacted canine or just canine and ankylosis, into my YouTube channel, and all the videos in the query will come up, or you can email me and I'll send it to you. But basically, in short, I mean, look at the patient's age. If the patient is still growing, if that root is not apexified yet or hasn't gone through apexogenesis fully, hasn't finished apexification, then it's pretty unlikely it's going to be ankylosed. It's probably not there is usually something in most informed consent forms, be it the Invisalign, your standard braces ones, that says something, a little blurb, there's always a risk of ankylosis, risk is worse in the following conditions. So it's usually there. I think if you had a risk factor, I would definitely mention to the patient in writing and grab a signature that there is a risk factor. So be it trauma or, a tapered tooth or a weird position, or it's tipped or the crown is palatal. If there's something that makes the risk factor worse, I am definitely going to mention there is a risk of, this tooth not moving. It might be ankylosed. That means that the cells that are on the root that normally are alive and move and allow a little give with the tooth, and you could talk about the bungee cords and the PDLs and stuff, they have turned into cement or glue. And so that tooth is now almost like an implant. It is glued in the mouth. So problem with ankylosed teeth is you got to drill them out, right? And they actually are vital, but they're glued out. It's confusing. So, it's still a useful tooth. It's just glued in the mouth. And the problem is if it's glued on something that you need or glued in the way or glued in an unaesthetic way, then they're a pain and you have to get them out. So we want to know if a tooth is impacted or potentially ankylosed before we start ortho, because it's ankylosed and you didn't tell them it might be ankylosed. And guess who's probably paying for that? That would be you. So you can, obviously use your tools, but we don't always know. A CBCT does help a little bit because at least they can see around that root, 360 degrees. Whereas if you just take a 2D PA, it's only 2D, right? So I can't see it all different ways. You can take 2D with a shift and that gives you more of an idea. But you're never going to fully know until you start applying traction and trying to move it, and then it's not moving. And you start to see external or internal root resorption, and then you're like, oh no, okay, it's ankylosed, shoot. And then right? So it stinks, it happens. I tend to be a little bit less optimistic than more optimistic. I'm going to play bad cop with any potential case and say, it's probably ankylosed, might be ankylosed. I don't know. Just so if it's not, I'm the hero and nobody did great, and if it is, I already told you it probably was. So I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to be a little bit more, what's the word? Less optimistic would be the way I present it, and always keep reminding people, and if this patient is in their 20s or 30s, the likelihood of it being ankylosed goes up significantly. Every single case I saw like that, even if it didn't look like it in the 2D, and this is before CBCT was mainstream, they always were ankylosed, every single one. And I always had to give a refund. It's so frustrating. Even with the right paperwork, they still got mad. They still would complain. They still would write a letter. They still would file a grievance. It was not worth it. So I just stopped taking those cases after a while. I was like, not worth it. They can pay cash. I'm definitely not taking insurance cases because they're going to make me pay it back. And even cash cases can make you pay it back. So I always stick with kids and teens for these type of cases. It's just easier. All right, thanks.